Good evening, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Now, today I want to do this very deep video explaining why men begin to sacrifice. And it's a very, very deep thing. So I want everyone to open up their ears as well as their minds so you can receive this deep understanding. Now, why did men sacrifice? And I know most people will say, we already know the answer to that. Men sacrifice because of sin. But what sin specifically led men to sacrificing? What sin was it? Which one? And it's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. It was eating. Eating is the sin that led men to sacrificing. Eating is the doorway to all sin. But y'all don't view eating for what it is. See, eating is consuming life, living life. So it's stealing life, killing life. You're doing all of that when you eat. It's a deep, selfish thing. But this is the sin that leads to all of them. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain this by asking y'all a simple question. Why did Adam and Eve get kicked out of the Garden of Eden? For eating. Now I know there's some of you out there watching and y'all may have a higher intellect than others. And you like, no, Adam and Eve were actually kicked out of the garden for sex. And they just used the term eating for respect purposes of the reader, just in case any children may read. And I'm not saying you're wrong. The apple, or not the apple, but the eating of the fruit in the midst of the garden, this all has to do with sex. But prior to that, Adam and Eve were eating. And I want y'all to grasp. This is a deep thing people don't grasp when they read the Bible. See, God made the Garden of Eden. And He put Adam and Eve in it to tend and watch over the garden. So you have to grasp. They were watching the garden, tending with it, and then of course they're going to eat. Now you have to grasp. When God came and told them, do not eat from the tree in the midst of the garden, prior to that He told them they could eat from any tree they choose. Just don't eat that one. So now you have to grasp. Why did God tell them that? Because they begin to eat. When you see your child starting to put things in their mouth and they can communicate, this is when you start explaining to them what they can eat and what they can't. So prior to God explaining to them not to eat from the tree in the midst of the garden, they weren't eating. Somewhere between that period in God creating the garden in Adam, sometime between that period, they begin to eat. And this is when God told them, don't eat the tree in the midst of the garden. Now here's where it's deep, because the tree in the midst of the garden is speaking of the penis and the vagina. But most of y'all are probably thinking, why would God say, don't eat penis and vagina? People don't eat penis and vagina. Well, you have to grasp. You have to put your perspective back to the beginning before men indulged in anything. So they don't know. They're like children. Now, what's the first thing that children do? They put things in their mouth. Now, if Adam and Eve is walking around naked and they're eating fruit from the trees of the garden, how long do you think it will take before Eve eventually says, let me put Adam, let me taste that. What is that? So you have to grasp. It's only so long before a kid will put things in their mouth because they don't know. And once she does that, all will change because Adam will feel that and he will rise up. And this is where it'll all get crazy. And the same with her. He'll taste her vagina and she'll get a feeling and get moist and she'll be like, I think that goes here. So you have to grasp. The tree in the midst of the garden, this is all symbology for sex in a sense. But it all stemmed from eating. Once they begin to eat, all things will go in their mouth. And once that goes in their mouth, they will have sex. So God told them from jump, all right, since y'all eating, I left y'all the garden to tend it and keep up with the living life, meaning the fruit and vegetation, but y'all decide to eat it. All right, well, once y'all eat, y'all going to indulge in anything that y'all desire. Because this is what eating does. It's the first thing anybody does. The first thing a baby does. They eat. And this opens up the doorway for everything else. So it's a deep thing I have to grasp. The tree in the midst of the garden, this all stemmed from eating. And this is why the Bible put it in the perspective of eating. Because them eating is what led them to having sex. Now, how do you know that? When God created the garden, He created the fruit, the vegetation of the garden. He put Adam and Eve there to mind the garden, keep up with it. He never said eat anything. He just said tend and keep the garden. Then after that, He explains to them, you can eat from any tree you choose, but don't eat from the one in the midst of the garden. So you have to grasp. Why did He say that before He told them to keep the garden? Because they were not eating. They had no need to eat. That's why He just said, keep up with the garden. Fruit, vegetation, that's right. Keep up with it. Make sure it's good. Keep the garden beautiful. He didn't say eat, but they did. If I leave a plate in front of your face and I don't come back for a while, you're going to taste it or eat it all. So He left them in the garden to keep it, and they started to eat. And He said, amen, it has begun. They ate. So you know what's next? They're going to put everything in the garden in their mouth. They're going to start tasting one another. And once they taste that part, it's up. We all know what happens when a woman puts a penis in her mouth, and we all know what happens when a man puts a vagina in his mouth. A feeling. And once that feeling comes, there's the desire, and it must be quenched. So God was forewarning them. This is what that is explaining. How food, eating, is the sin that led to them all. And this is why they were kicked out of the garden. Now, once they were kicked out of the garden, this is when sacrifice began. Now, I know a lot of y'all will say, how you figure that, Silas? Because Cain and Abel gave offerings to the Lord. That's what led Cain to killing Abel. Now, who you thought taught Cain and Abel how to give offerings? Adam and Eve. So you got to grasp. The moment they got kicked out of the garden, they started giving sacrifice. Because they knew eating was wrong. The sex, anything after eating is just, once you eat, it's over. Once the baby comes out the womb, they eat. You're not going to stop them from anything. And we all know this. So the Bible was simple, yet so deep. But we don't put our mind perspective back to the beginnings before anybody experienced anything. And the first thing everyone experiences first is eating. And that's the doorway. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Why did Cain kill Abel? Murder's a sin. But why did Cain kill Abel? Y'all would say jealousy. No. Over food. Grass. Cain was a tiller of the ground. Abel was a shepherdman. Lamb, fruits, and vegetables. Killed them over food. Eating. His jealousy came from eating. Now, a lot of y'all will say, how? You have to grasp. Cain was a tiller of the ground. Abel was a shepherdman, a herdsman. Now, they were giving the offering to the Lord. This is basically to say they were paying their taxes to whoever owned the land. So the same way you work and you pay taxes, back in the past, they had their jobs. They worked. Cain was a farmer. Abel was a shepherdman. And they were paying their taxes. Now here's where it's deep. Because Cain gave fruit of the ground. This is to say vegetables. He gave vegetables. And Abel gave lamb. Now you have to grasp. This is to say the diet went from fruit and vegetables to now men were consuming the living beings, meaning animals, one another. So the diet stepped up. You have to grasp. Now Abel, he gave lamb. This is why my point on saying the diet stepped up is for you to understand. When Abel gave the sheep, this is to say he gave meat. He gave a meat offering. Grasp. If I bring you steak, filet mignon, and the next man brings you corn, tomatoes, grasp. You like, get that out of here. He didn't even bring fruit. He brought vegetables. Don't nobody like vegetables. So this is why the Lord looked down on Cain's offering. Because it wasn't God, it was the king of the land. And everybody had to pay their taxes of whatever it is that they did. Abel's was a farmer, and he gave meat. He gave sheep. This is to say he gave clothing or cloth. He gave meat. So he gave good things. Lost men take value in these things. Nobody don't care about no vegetables. And Cain gave fruit of the ground. Vegetables grow from the ground. Most fruit grow from the trees up above. So it's basically letting you know, not only did he give fruit and vegetables, but he didn't even give fruit. He gave the vegetables. He gave what to lost men is the most, like, that's all you brought? And this is what led to his envy. So you have to grasp. His vegetables that he gave as an offering was going to be eating. The lamb, the sheep that Abel gave, it was going to be eating. The Lord frowned on Cain's gift because he didn't want to eat that. This led to Cain's envy of Abel. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. It all had to do with food. The Bible is breaking down how eating led to all the other sins. So now Cain killed Abel over his envy. And it's a deep thing because all the 7 sins lead up to the physical sin. So Adam and Eve, they went through greed, lust, pride, envy, wrath, sloth, gluttony. All of this transpired before the actual sin, the physical sin. You have to grasp. Cain was proud. He was greedy. That's why he only gave the vegetables. He like, I'm keeping the fruit and all the good stuff for myself. I'm giving my vegetables. Greedy, proud. That led to him being envious of his brother. Then wrath. So you have to grasp. The Bible is breaking it down so cold-blooded. It's using the 7 deadly sins and how they lead up to the physical sin. That's why it's called the 7 deadly sins. And eating is a deadly sin. Because when you eat, you're eating life. You're taking the life from the thing you're eating. And it's deep. Because when you do that, you don't view it as life. So this is why it's a selfish, selfless act. It's the most proudest thing you can do. There's nothing more proud than you looking at another life form. Mind you, you didn't even create yourself. You didn't create no life form. So what's more proud than looking at something less than yourself and saying, I'm going to eat that and sustain myself? That's nothing. Because you have to have that mindset to eat. This is how y'all able to just eat like y'all do. This is why y'all don't eat people. Because you acknowledge people as living beings. Y'all don't acknowledge animals, fruits, vegetables, fish, birds. Y'all don't acknowledge these things as living life. Now, a lot of y'all say, I do, but you truly don't. This is why y'all have pets. Y'all don't look at the dog or the cat and say, damn, that's a living being with its own life. And I have it locked in my apartment, under my control. Why? I bought this animal the same way black men were bought in the past. None of this happens in your mind because you truly don't view the pet or the animal as living life like you. And it's a deep thing. Eating is the worst sin anyone can do. All the sins that come after it truly don't matter. Once eating happens, once they don't realize that that's life they're eating, they're going to be oblivious to anything else they do. And it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Why do you think religions all have fasting in it? Because eating, you have to grasp. In the past, men ate one another. And in some parts of the world today, it still happens. If there's a drought in food, people will eat one another. I don't know if many of y'all seen a movie in the past, like 1993, called Alive. And a plane crashed in the Andes Mountains, I believe. And they were eating one another to survive. And it's a deep thing. They did it for survival purposes, but my point is this. What's more selfish than that? A man will not accept his own fate. He will kill another in his place. Because when you're eating, that's what you're doing. You're putting another in your place. Now grasp. Adam and Eve, they didn't have to eat, drink, or anything. They were good. Now, if you don't believe the Bible or anything like that, that's okay. Just get the point, the message. Because that's what truly matters. In all cultures in the past, they dealt with fasting to tell you that eating was a sin. All cultures of the past, even in today's times, whether y'all ignorant to it, eating is always viewed as a sin. Always. It's no getting around that. But it's the in-depth perspective that's like foggy. This is where men say, oh no, the fruit and vegetables is good for eating. It's the animals and other things that's not. This is where you get veganism and all of that from. But it's all just there to overlook the point. It don't matter what you eat. Eating is a horrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But everyone must do it. And you have to grasp. In you eating, this is what led to everything else. I want you to look at a newborn baby. The moment the newborn baby is giving milk, what does that lead to? More solid food. More physical sin. Now, what's solid food? Life. So you see how the baby goes from milk to wanting more. So grasp, it's a deep thing. Once you eat, you'll want more. And then your desires will go beyond eating. You'll want to indulge in any desire. Sex, murder. It'll just all unfold. The baby starts off eating milk. Milk is liquid. It's not solidly physical. Milk's not that bad. But what does it lead to? Physical food. What is physical food? Solid food. Vegetation, fruit. This is life. Now, baby will eat that. Step his game up to a heavier diet, which is more life. So grasp. And this is the cycle of the baby. And then the baby begins to walk. And it begins to experience and indulge in other things. And touch everything it sees and puts it in its mouth. And this is why God said, okay. I see y'all done decided to eat the fruit and vegetables in the garden even after I told you to just keep up with it. But you decided to eat it. So now, check this slide. You can eat whatever you want, because y'all lost. It's over for y'all. But just don't eat the pee-pee, the private end. Don't put that in your mouth, because you got to grasp. God's talking to children. They never ate or did nothing. They kids. They newborns. So you got to tell them. You can't say peanuts. They kids. Kid mind. Don't touch the tree in the middle of your garden. So God is wise. This is how they're trying to make it in the Bible. God's wise, He knows. You have to speak to them a certain way. They still going to do it, but this is to show you. Eating is the sin that led to them all. And it's a deep, deep, cold-blooded thing. Because most people are going to say, well, then what are we supposed to do? You're so far beyond that. You're so far beyond that. Eating is the gateway. But it's the least of your problems. Because eating, most people will give up eating before sex. So if I said you got to make a choice, you can eat today or have sex today, most people will say, man, I'll take the sex. I'll eat tomorrow. You get my point? So it's like eating led to all the other desires, but now the other desires are more powerful than eating. Y'all think, man, I gotta eat, so eating, that's a given. I'm gonna eat. So the other desires is more, eating is a need to y'all. It's not a luxury. It's a need. Y'all like, man, I gotta eat, man, so that don't count. I'm going to take the sex, because that's a luxury. I might not get sex today. I'm going to eat today. I'm going to eat tomorrow. I always eat. So this is my point. Once you eat, all the other desires become so much more better. Then you got to go backwards. You got to overpower all your desires before you can overpower eating. Most of y'all will never be able to stop eating. I eat one time a day. Just once. I'm going to show y'all something. Now, I want to show y'all this, because this is my strawberry shortcake. Strawberry cake, your whipped cream, got your strawberries in it, and it's delicious. Mmm. 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 Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. God damn. It's so good. Now, most of y'all can't do that. What I just did. Take a bite, and I'm going to put it back in the fridge. And that's going to last me 2 days. Most of y'all like, what? Man, I eat that whole bowl right now. And give me another one. Where you get that from, fellas? I know a lot of y'all gonna comment. Yo, Cyrus, where you get that from? That shit look crazy. And that's my point, y'all ready. Y'all lost in the food. I just did this whole video on how eating is the worst thing you could do. And I know y'all gonna be like, yo, I'm glad he said that about the comment, because I was just about to comment. Yo, where you get that from, man? I want one. And it's a deep, cold-blooded thing. I'm gonna let y'all get a view. Got strawberry cake chunks. You got your whipped cream frosting. You got your fresh cut strawberries with the organic strawberry. I keep making up shit. I don't know if it's organic, but it's good, baby. Oh boy. It's deep. Y'all don't get sick because of the food y'all eat. Y'all get sick because y'all greedy. I don't know why people try to overlook this. No, it's the meat. The meat is making me sick. How you think the animals got sick? The meat is giving us diseases. How the hell you think animals got diseases? From humans. So y'all gotta make sense in life. You can't say, oh man, animals is no good for eating. We get sick and disease. Y'all got disease. And y'all give it to the animals. It's like when the Europeans came to America. And they gave all the people all them disease. You think the animals ain't get them disease too? They just breathing all on the animals, giving them polio too. With the animals, polio might transfer over to something different because their genetic makeup is different. You got the grass. Polio to you ain't something different to animals. Because your cells is like completely foreign. White man and you, y'all genetically kind of the same. So, you know, it's a little cold, you get polio, but you get better. With the animals, they like, what is that? Polio turned to AIDS or something else. So it's deep. And then y'all eat the animal. And this is why people getting sick. Not because the animals ain't good for eating. Anything you eat is life, and it's not right. Now, an animal is going to make you more healthy. It's going to make you more strong than the fruit and vegetables, because it's more of a living life. So it's deep. Y'all got to grasp. Back in the day, they used to say, oh, why they eating meat? If you ever seen the movie Noah, and the son asked Noah, why they killing the animals? And he told him, because they going to eat it. And he was like, why they eat them? And he was like, because they think it makes them stronger. It's deep. The more living the life, the more stronger it'll make you. You can eat a cheeseburger. If you get lettuce, that's the same amount, ain't going to sustain you the same. You're going to need a whole lot of lettuce to sustain you like a cheeseburger the size of your Palmville. And this is my point. The more heavier the life, or more alive the life, the more it'll sustain you, the more better it will be for your longevity. But it's wrong. So you have to grasp. Now the meat and stuff today, like I said, the animals are sick because of man. So this is why in today's times people eat meat and things like this and they may get sick or something. They might get bird flu or swine flu. This is because the animals are sick. But a fresh animal that's not sick, it's going to do you better than the fruits and vegetables. But it's more of a living life. Fruits and vegetables, living life. You're going to kill something that's more closer to you now. Meaning longevity term. Fruits and vegetables, they don't live as long as living beings. It's a different kind of life. It don't live as long. It kind of regenerates itself, like all life, but in a different way. I don't feel like going into all of that. I did a video yesterday. Kind of, if you remember that video, you'll grasp. But you just step in the diet up from one thing going more in depth into the life. So you got to grasp, it's a deep thing. For a person to say, oh, eating this is better than being a vegan, is better than being a meat eater. It's like, man, this is why when I came, I'm like, man, they too lost. They don't understand that food is life. It don't matter which one it is. To pick and be like, oh, this is, it's like, damn, they lost. They think the food, they think the life is for them to eat. And it's not. Eating the life will make your life longer, but this is where morality kicks in. And when it comes to men living, morality don't matter. You don't want to hear that. You're like, man, please. Nigga, please. Go to the next topic, please, fellas, because we don't want to hear nothing about no food no more. I want to eat, nigga. I know how y'all think. And I grasp. But it is what it is. You got to grasp. Adam and Eve, when they were in the Garden of Eden, they were eating fruit and vegetables first. How do you know this? Because it was a garden. So grass. They were eating fruit and vegetables. When they got kicked out of the garden, they began to go more deeper into a different diet. Meat and things like this. How do you know that? Because Cain was the shepherd. And Abel was a farmer. Who do you think Cain learned how to be a shepherd from? His daddy, Adam. So you have to grasp. Men went from eating fruits and vegetables, which is life. This is bad. So now they're going to keep going. Now they're going to eat the living beings. They don't want you to eat just the life. They don't want to just eat life, living life. But they want to eat living beings. And it's a deep thing. But this is how you know they stepped up the diet. Because Cain was what he was and Abel was what he was. And when they went to give their offering to the Lord, you know where the diet of society was, because the Lord got mad at Cain. Because Cain brought him fruit and vegetables, which is ground food. Said, oh no, this nigga's disrespectful. He brought me ground fruit. He brought me food from the ground. He didn't even bring me apples. Kiwi. Where's that? He brought tomatoes and celery. The cheapest, I'm sorry, but he brought the cheapest shit in the supermarket. When you go in the supermarket, ain't nothing cheaper than fruits and vegetables. So you gotta grasp, Cain was greedy. He like, man, I'm keeping the good stuff for myself. He could take this fruit. He could take these vegetables. Abel, he brought him meat. That sheep got wool on it. So you got to grasp. He like, oh yeah, Abel, you my main cat daddy. I fucks with you, blood. You real good with it, man. You done brought me some clothes, some cloth. I'm going to make me a sweater with this sheep. We going to have us some lamb chops tonight, baby. It's going to be a good thing. So they respected Abel. Now you have to grasp. This is not God. That's why I said the Lord. This is just to say the offering was taxes. The same way we pay taxes. So every so often you got to pay your taxes. Give your offering to whoever land you're on. So Cain and Abel was going to do that. Pay their taxes. And Cain was being cheap. And Abel gave pretty much nothing better than that back in the past. You give a person a sheep, they not only have a sweater, but they got food. So you got to grasp. It's a deep thing. They like, oh yeah, he gave good tithes, good taxes. Cain, nigga, gave us vegetables. Everybody got vegetables, nigga. We don't want that. So the Lord like, hold on, you played yourself. So this led Cain to being upset. Because he like, oh, they want to respect Abel more than me. He forgot he was being cheap and stingy. So this is how we are. You be cheap and stingy and try to get over, and then you get caught trying to get over, then you get mad like you wasn't trying to get over. So that's what Cain did. He forgot his gift was the cheapest thing he could have thought to give. Once he got shot down, he was like, man, fuck God, fuck the Lord. How he going? So you see my point? He completely forgot. Like, oh yeah, I did. He didn't let Abel's gift make him say, yo, you know what? I'm going to go back and come back right. Nah, he said, nah, that's fucked up. Abel's a punk. Why would you try to play me? So you know how we get. We try to push everything off on everybody else. Man, fuck the Lord and fuck you too, Abel. Why you try to play me in front of the Lord like that? Man, I should slap you. So that's his little bro. So you know how that goes. You got to put everything into real life perspective. You get envy. You keep nitpicking with him after that. His sheep all on Cain land, eating. Kick the nigga sheep. Get your sheep out of here. You can't eat on my land no more. Because you think you cute. So this is real life. This is how things really be working in life. Let me cover up my... Yeah, I had to put that thing back in the fridge because we going to slowly nibble on that, man, for the next couple of days. Now, I haven't eaten all day. No, I'm lying. I did. I ate a chicken. A piece of a chicken. That was it. Usually I don't eat during the day. But today I ate a piece of a chicken or something. I forgot. But it's almost, the sun just set it. Shortly in a little while, I'm going to probably eat a piece of fish. Yeah, a piece of salmon. And then, that's it. But that's the way I was before I cut the video. Cain was being greedy and selfish. And it's a deep thing I have to grasp. Eating led up to all the sins. Eating is the first sin. Eating. Grasp that. And that's why you a lost spirit in hell. Now, I'm going to come back and do another video explaining what Adam was. Because people got this confused. They think Adam was an individual, and that's wrong. Adam was the first man. Adam's not an individual. This is how we have humans, Adam. So all mankind was Adam and Eve. That was like man and woman. So in today's times, you see how you got human. That's like to say that you're not the original man, but you're the hybrid of it, like a high man, human. It's a deep thing, but I'm going to come back on the next video and break all that down. And I'm going to use the Quran to do it. Like I do all the vids. I'm going to start using all the texts and things that y'all love. I'm going to use those. Since my word ain't good enough. Since my common sense don't make sense to y'all, I'll use the books since they don't make no sense. And then y'all will probably grasp that way. However it works, it's all gravy. It's your main man, Solace the Groovy Wise, when I'm about to go to the supermarket, buy me the rest of those cakes. Hopefully I got some cash on me. Yeah, I got some dirty bum singles on me. I'm gonna go. Oh my God. Yo, this money smell like when I used to sell crack. Like bum socks. Yo, the fiends used to have their money fold up in their socks when I used to sell my shit. And they used to have their money tucked all up in their socks. They used to come buy their shit and take they dirty ass money out their sock. And I used to look at them like, put that shit in my pocket. No lie. Put it in my pocket. Like, what? It be wet. I used to get in the crib and forget, dig in my pocket, money soaking wet. You know, like, oh, this was definitely on a nigga's feet. Ain't nowhere else it would be wet like this. It's all damp. I'm like, oh my God. I used to have to wear gloves. Latex gloves. Just to serve things. Because they put money in their ass. And they gave me money with shit on it. I took it. Because I ain't never turned down. Well, this is the past. This is all funny to me. I think back on the past and I just get a kick out of it. Shit. Stupid shit. But back in the past, money was shit, blood, I don't care what was on it. I'm taking that. I need that. I might not touch it, but you gonna put it in my pocket. However it needs to work, it's gonna work. But that's what's my goal. To get my money for the day. All of it. I make up a number. I need 20 grand a day. Why? Why you need 20 G's today, Cheese? Because that's what I need. And I go out and I get my grind on and I get that. But then, I had that clockwork. So, that clockwork. Things come around the clock. My staircase enterprise. That's what I called it. You know what I'm saying? I had my managers, my workers. Everything was lined up. That was a given. But if you want to make 20 G's, then I gotta do a little extra. So I gotta put some points on the package, sell some weight, things like this. But this is the type of things I used to do back in the day. I chop me some weight, blow it up, sell it, and get benefits. You know what I'm saying? Quadruple right quick, make 20 G's in one day. You know what I'm saying? Weed, drinks, and new gear on me. Well, new gear's on me. But the rest is on me too, and y'all can indulge. But the new gear, y'all don't buy nobody nothing. New clothes wise. Now, put the new gear on me, and I'll wear it, and y'all can all sit around me and smoke and drink. And then, once that happens, drunk motherfuckers go crazy. Then I use them. Hey, man, beat this nigga the fuck up because he's stupid. Man, he look goofy, man. So I was just a great manipulator. Not to say that I was bad. I did a lot of fucked up shit. So if I manipulated you to beat somebody up or do something bad, you couldn't be like, no, why would I? Because I do all of that. I do worse than that. So it's deep. I say, man, you should stab him. I do worse than stab him. So how you look telling me now, why you trying to manipulate me? I ain't trying to manipulate you. You're a sucker. Then you get stabbed. So it's always in a nigga mind like, damn, he manipulating me, but it's crazy. He might do the shit to me if I don't do it. So I'm going to just do it. Plus, when a brother's drunk, brothers don't even think that deep. They just be hyped up. So I just send them where they need to be hyped at. Like, yeah, you see him right there, man? He said your mother's a man. And they can just go crazy. It's a deep thing. But it's your main man, Sauce. I'm going to go ahead and run on over to the supermarket and get this strawberry shortcake, but they sell out of it. I don't know why I bought just one. Stupid. But I'm going to go on ahead and go on over there and get that. Y'all be groovy and y'all keep it tight. Oh, bye.